Hi, I'm Christy. Today I want to talk to you about caregivers needing sufficient sleep. So what's the first thing that comes to mind when I ask if you get enough sleep? I wouldn't be surprised if you scoffed at me there a little bit. Isn't everyone a bit sleep deprived these days? Isn't that just part of modern life? Well, this is a common fact for many people. I believe it's a trend that we need to change, even if it's only for ourselves. Let's look at some of the reasons why. It's a fairly well-known fact that we all need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. While many people don't think that's possible for them, the research supports this need. There's an article from 5starseniorliving.com. You can find a link to it over on the blog. That's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in September of 2019. The article puts it this way, quote, "Sleep deprivation is more than an inconvenience. In fact, not getting enough sleep can cause a variety of problems. Unhealthy weight gain, trouble concentrating, decreased stamina. Research shows that poor sleepers are even more likely to experience heart disease and strokes," end quote. Well, isn't that an encouraging little bit of news there? But seriously, this is just one article that demonstrates the necessity of getting sufficient sleep on a regular basis. And there are several links within that quote that I read. One of them is about sleep deprivation, and it takes you to a website that has a number of other pages with helpful and informative facts, along with a lot of explanations on different aspects of sleep, including why sleep is important. Now, Tuck.com has an article, again, it's linked on the blog, that lists several issues that arise when you are sleep deprived, including difficulty focusing, lower emotional stability, less or slower recovery from physical stress, weight gain, a weakened immune system, and serious long-term stress or health issues. Clear Care Online says that, quote, "Losing sleep is common among caregivers, but problems arise when it becomes a nightly occurrence," end quote. Now, this particular article focused specifically on insomnia, which they describe as, quote, "a sleep disorder characterized by no sleep, little sleep, or poor sleep. It may be chronic or temporary and can be caused by a variety of factors," end quote. So now that we can agree, at least in theory, that we all need more sleep and or better quality sleep, how does that apply to caregivers? Well, facts are facts. Even caregivers need to get sufficient sleep to be in the best possible place to care for their loved one. However, caregivers often find it difficult to get that required sleep, especially if their loved one wakes during the night on a regular basis. There's an article from Tuck.com that gives some good information and advice. You know it's going to be a good article when it starts out with, "Finding time to sleep may be one of the biggest challenges of caregiving. The second might be relaxing enough to actually find sleep." To actually fall asleep, end quote. Sleep.org has this quote, "More than 1/5 of caregivers say that they are exhausted when they go to bed at night," end quote. And I suspect are waking up just as exhausted if they're not getting quality sleep on a regular basis. So we've seen that we need more sleep, and even seen how caregivers are no exception to this need, even with, or maybe especially with, the extra responsibilities placed on them. But how can we actually get the sleep that we need? Well, I read a number of different articles. I linked to them all in the blog. Here's a list of stuff that I pulled from these articles. Modify your sleeping environment. This can include things like limiting light exposure, cooling down the room, and possibly adding a weighted blanket. Prepare for appointments ahead of time. Consider remote monitoring if you're concerned about your loved one overnight. Avoid blue light before bedtime and get sufficient sunlight during the day. Eat foods that will encourage sleep in the evenings while avoiding caffeine and sugar. Exercise during the day, but not too closely to bedtime. Get into a sleep routine and keep it every day, including the weekends if possible. Avoid naps if possible. Get help if at all possible. Now, this could include someone coming to your home overnight to take care of your loved one so that you can get quality sleep. Visit the doctor yourself. Making sure you're in the best health possible benefits your loved one as well. Make sure your bedroom is for sleeping only, and anything that can raise stress levels is removed from the room. And finally, reduce stress wherever possible. So here's the deal. I can tell you from personal experience that all of these things really do make a difference. For years, I was not good at self-care. I've been pretty clear about that throughout this series. As I've started making healthier choices, many areas of my life have improved. One of those areas is sleep. I've started making sleep a higher priority. While I still struggle with getting quality sleep, I've discovered that when I get sufficient sleep, I'm definitely happier, better able to react in healthier and more appropriate ways, and I feel better physically. Am I perfect at it? Absolutely not. But it's now a priority, and I'm healthier for that choice. And I've noticed that when I don't get my required amount of sleep, I start to feel less well physically. Sometimes I snap at my family more quickly. I have a harder time focusing or concentrating on tasks. Some days I drag or have less energy to get through my day. These facts all remind me that I need to keep my sleep a high priority so that I can be at my best for my family and my life. So my question for you this week is this: have you made sleep a priority? If so, how do you keep it a priority when life gets in the way? If not, what's keeping you from doing so? I'd love to hear what you think. You can leave me a comment below, or you can leave me a comment over on the blog. Again, that's at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in September of 2019. As always, I'd appreciate it if you'd share this with anyone and everyone you think would find it helpful. I'd love to help as many families as I can. Sign-up places are available on the website as usual. Signing up notifies you of all newly released content. Awake and alert enough to know that life is good and there is never a dull moment.